My people, what up, though? We back with another episode of All Black Men Need Therapy. My name is Chief.
And I'm Bell.
And I'm Butta, y'all.
What it do, what it is, fellas. Yo, I really like the bop that we got coming into. It's time, you think it's time to change it?
We have this conversation every year.
With the bop?
And the response that I always say is, you see what they did to 50 when he changed the power intro.
I remember that. I do remember that response. We haven't had a conversation in a while, though, Bell.
Yeah, you're probably right. It might be 2 years ago.
But we was all like, come on, 50. Bring it back. He damn sure put it back, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, immediately. Immediately. Like, yeah. No.
No doubt. What it is, fellas, what it is, what it was, what it does, cuz what it do. LT, let's start off hot, baby. Check in. How you be? How you living? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It was a beautiful day today. I went to a school that I really enjoy to support some students. I ended up being interviewed for their school, like commercial or documentary. So I'm loving that. And yeah, this 5-year plan has a brother sitting down and restructuring some things. So I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, I'm dealing with I did something because of my behavior and I hurt somebody who I love, like I hurt their feelings. And so I took accountability for it. What I struggle with, I think, is explaining myself. And so I was like, I don't know what to explain other than I apologize. It won't happen again. But I don't like that I may have injured that person emotionally. And it's somebody I really love. So processing that. And then yeah. I'm looking forward to the summer. Like I'm hype about the summer. I'm hype about what I'm about to do next. Like the 5-year plan has me present in a way that I wasn't present, I think, before I heard the language. So much so when I walked into the school, I pushed into a classroom at the behest of a teacher who was like, oh my God, I got this idea from you. Remember when you had the students write a letter from themselves 5 year in the future? And I was like, yeah. I was like, really, God? Just slap me around like that?
Oh,
like,
wow.
Disrespectful. But they're not doing just a letter. They now have to do a video. So they have to share the video and share images of where they see themselves in the next 5 years. I was like, oh, wow. So I'm immensely grateful. And I feel like God has, intentionally shaking me up to get my attention. And God has it undivided for sure. What's up with y'all?
That's dope. Go ahead. What's up? Let me check in.
Well, my allergies are kicking my ass. I literally almost didn't record tonight because I can't breathe. My nose is running. Like I got tissue right here. Like it's bad. When I thought Butta was only going to be on audio, I was like, that's crazy because I was only going to be on audio in my mind tonight. Like I wasn't going to get on video. But allergies. Oh, so you mentioned the 5-year plan, Butta, and I wanted to ask. Not, you don't have to answer it right now, but a thought that came to my mind was, how are you all doing on your 1-word challenge? And I'm not gonna front. For a minute, I forgot mine. I'm like, what was my 1 word? Which isn't good, right? But then I thought about all the shit that I'm doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, my word's abundance. And I'm like, so I'm still aligned, even though I forgot it for that split second. But then it led me down a different path today where I'm like, am I in avoidance mode? Because all the stuff that I'm trying to do is a lot, but I feel like I'm doing it to avoid being present with like some current circumstances. So it was just that it wasn't anything that we got to dwell on, but it was just something that came to my mind today. So, and it's funny because I'm pivoting, I'm moving on from that topic, but I was on a call with my man this afternoon, and Lorraine overheard my conversation, and she was like, you had 2 conversations today about what was the what is she custody. She said you had two conversations today about custody. And I'm like, damn, I guess I did. I was talking to two of my people that are going through some circumstances, and we was just talking about um how the system isn't set up for dads to be single dads, or I should say the support mechanisms aren't in place for dads to be single dads, and the resources aren't in place for um dads as they are for moms, and the overarch the systemic challenges that we face in the country, because each just so you all know, each state has a different law as it regard to parenting. Like, for instance, Detroit, the the mom has the rights. Connecticut, if you have a baby out of wedlock, then you have joint custody. So I was talking to my man from Detroit today, who's going through some stuff, and I was talking to my man from Connecticut, who's going through divorce, and we were just discussing, what that would look like. So long check in, but that was all today. Those are all the things that happened to me today. So, Chief,
No doubt. All is well, man. Let me start with saying, after last week's episode, yo, I woke up whatever morning it was. I don't remember what day we recorded. I don't think it was Thursday. I woke up Thursday morning, and I woke up hella grateful for y'all dudes, man. Like the spirit of gratitude for you guys in particular was like on me heavy. Like on me super heavy, man. And I just want to say I'm thankful for you brothers, man. Like, I know we do this in hopes to continue to grow and heal and be better and empower the people to do so. But like, it really impacted me just to be a part of this, this brotherhood, man. I woke up super thankful for y'all, man. So I love y'all, and just thank you for being in my circle, man, and allowing me in yours.
Love you.
love you back.
And that Butta, to your point, that 4-year letter thing was a super dope thing. I completely forgot about it. I did it in high school too, and I remember getting the letter when I got the job at the high school, and it was really affirming, man. So keep that party going. I think the letter and the video kind of just it doubles down on it, and it's a really cool thing to look back on and empower the kids if they, if they stay aligned to what their goals were. So that's a pretty cool thing. I want to thank God for a healthy and an abundant immune system, because Bell sound like you struggling over there, my dude. And I don't know what that is like, man. Allergies ain't never been in a part of my world, man, and I'm so grateful for that. I don't see people go through the worst of it with them with them allergies, man.
Ain't no joke, man.
Lastly, per usual, my kids are happy and healthy. Everything is good. Bubba's season is winding down today. Was just a super dope game for her, man. She played really like exponentially well. She hit for the cycle, and I didn't even realize it until after the game, like till I saw the write up and thing. But like, it was just she was 5 for 5 today. She had a home run, 2 triples, a single, and a double.
That's wild.
And it's just like it was just too cool to see, man. And that this was the team that they lost to bad, and she stunk it up bad that game. She went 0 for 3 and walked like 15 girls. And she was excited to like get out there and get back after it. And you could tell like she only pitched the last 2 innings today, but she struck out 5 batters out of 8. And every time she struck them out, you could like see it in her body, like she was playing with a passion, and it was cool, man. It was really, really cool to see. And
she was locked in.
No, that's for sure. That's what it was. She was locked in. So with that, like, it was just cool to like, excuse me, to witness all that going down, man. And I'm super proud of my baby girl. Work is on my heels. It's the end of the year, and these kids is really, really bugging out, bro.
What y'all got? 10 days, 12 days? How many days y'all got left?
11.
June. Well, we here till like June 15th ish, but that last week or so ain't really nothing popping. You know what I'm saying?
So, until it is.
Yeah, until it is. Right. But no, it's been a struggle. We got a new kid today. Can't get right. Saw it when she walked in the building. Like, oh man. But outside of that, man, everything is good. Everything copacetic. Excuse me. So that was a quick check-in. 10 minutes, huh? Nobody really. We all doing well. That's a beautiful thing. I got a topic for us today, and it's called "No Space for Men." Man, I saw this video. Excuse me.
You may not have allergies, but you might have something.
I was drinking some water when you was up.
Yeah, all right. You can say what you want to say.
Nah, I was drinking some water.
Anybody.
I want to know if anybody know where that came from.
Ain't no way they would know where that came from.
No way. But nah, I saw this video online. That's my thing. I like try to, when I see him, I save him and hope that we can talk about him. So I believe this was another podcast. It could have been just an interview or whatever, but nevertheless, it was something that caught my attention. I'm like, let me talk about the guys, see what they think. So it was like a minute clip. I'll play the clip and then we can discuss it from there. Check this out, fellas. Let me know what y'all think.
There isn't space to talk about how we feel because now we have to begin to sort of console them for what we said and how it made them feel. So now I have to bottle all this back up again, and I have to go back to that place and say, you know what? I'm never going to open up again. There isn't space to talk about how we feel because now we have to begin.
I think there was. I thought there was more to that. Let me run that back again and see if it was.
To sort of console them for.
Was it that?
There isn't space to talk about how we feel because now we have to begin to sort of console them for what we said and how it made them feel. So now I have to bottle all this back up again, and I have to go back to that place and say, you know what? I'm never going to open up again. There isn't.
What are y'all initial thoughts to the video?
I've talked about this before. We've talked about this, not as a topic necessarily, but like in passing, how I say I don't burden low with my challenges.
Yeah, you said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I just don't do it because of everything, and not, excuse me, not because of what he said, but in the same vein where it's like whatever I'm going through is hard enough for me. And like, I'll give you an example, right? The other day, I wasn't home. So I must have been, I don't know. I was at a work function or I was somewhere. Damn, now it's going to bother me where I was at. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Lorraine was giving Chase a bath. And I don't know if, well, you guys are both in the Northeast, but since it hasn't really been warm here, I've read somewhere that the bees are like confused. Like they haven't had their same refuge, like of these blooming flowers and everything like that. So they've been confused. They've been in places where they ain't got no business being, which is why my allergies are coming now because all the pollen's starting to happen right now, whereas it normally happens the first 2 weeks of the spring. But anyway, and wherever I was at, I was in a hotel. Where was I just at a hotel? This is going to really bother me because did I travel somewhere? Why was I in the hotel? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I keep saying that, but then I'm going to keep trying to figure out where the hell I was at. Either way, I wasn't home. And apparently one of them big wasps got in the bathroom with Chase and Lorraine as she was giving them a bath. And she freaked out. So naturally, Chase freaked out. And it bothered me because I'm like, it's a bee, right? It's not that big of a deal. Like, capture it, kill it, whatever you want to do. But what I was explaining to her, I said, you're projecting. And again, I don't know how to solve. I wasn't trying to solve it, but I don't know if there's a solution. That's the word I was looking for. But what I was explaining to her, I was like, listen, you just made him, because apparently it was like a whole ordeal. Like Chase was crying. Lorraine was freaking out because he was crying because she was freaking out. And I was explaining to her, I was like, yo, you're going to give him these insecurities about these bees, and it's not even that big of a deal. So I say that to say, like, if I was here, I would have handled it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have handled it and nobody would have gotten upset. Nobody wouldn't have, there would have been no emotion. They would have called me, I would have came in, took care of it, and done. However, take that same situation. What if I freak out and then they freak out? You see what I'm saying? So now it's like, now I gotta deal with all of this. I gotta deal with my fear, then their fears. You know what I'm saying? So that's the analogy that I look at it, where it's just like, if I'm dealing with something, I'm just going to deal with it. And I've gotten better. I tell her that I'm dealing with, I don't say what it is. I just say I'm dealing with something. I'm working with Lindsay, who's our therapist. I'm like, I'm working with Lindsay on it. I'm going to catch you when I'm on the other side. So that way she knows, like if I'm off or something like that, but I don't be like, you know, I don't know how I'm going to pay mortgage next month. Like, like I'm not having those, not that I have those conversations, but I'm not having those types of things that she doesn't have to think about because I have it, for then her to be like, oh, it's serious if he's worried. You know what I'm saying? So then in turn, however she internalizes that, then now I got to deal with that. So that's why I just keep it very general. I'm dealing with something. I'm working with Lindsay. I'll catch you up when I'm on the other side of it. You know what I mean? And that way, at least she understands if I'm off. And sometimes I'll mention it to her because sometimes she'll have a solution, and sometimes it's not like that serious, where I'm not worried about how it's going to impact her. But it's something that it could be something very small to her, but like huge to me. So I would give her that because I'm like, okay, this isn't gonna necessarily impact her that much, you know. So anyway, that's my whole stance on that video that you just showed.
It's interesting. How do you delineate between the two? Because like you said, like naturally what's small to her becomes big to you. I think it just by norm because you want to fix it, because you got to fix it.
Well, if it's me, like
I'm
yeah, I'm gonna help
right
you
now.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is like a work thing. Like if it's a work thing, I'll tell her because she can help me see through that because it's bigger to me because I'm involved. But she's, objective, or as objective as she can be as my spouse. And she can look at it through her life coaching lens and through the corporate lens. I'm like, no, you just got to do this or whatever the case. Like, I don't have a problem sharing stuff like that, because that's how I delineate, to answer your question. If it's like, because it's things that I know that are not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. So I'll share that. But if it's things that I deem as important enough for me to be stressed and can have implications on us, then I'll just fight my way through it. You know what I mean?
Is there communication about it once you fought your way through it, or
yep?
So you like, I was dealing with this how it ended. Now I'm better.
Right.
Conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
Does it work the same with like your feelings? I ask you that because like a while ago, when I was checking in on you when you was like, yo, bro, I just want to talk about it. Was that full circle for everybody around, or were you more comfortable speaking to your spouse about that?
Nah, I ain't talking to nobody really about it. My whole thing was I don't want to be reminded of it. Like, I just want to have a regular conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I felt like, and again, this is your nature. Like, there's nothing you did that was wrong. But since it was a big deal, you were, again, I'm going to use this word, but I don't mean it in a negative connotation. You were overly concerned. And it's like, I spend all day worrying about it. So if I'm talking to you, I don't really want to revisit it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I just want to have our regular conversations. A check-in is fine, right? A check-in is fine. But then when you go past that, it's like, bro, like let's just have a regular conversation. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I hear you, and I heard you, so I obviously pulled back.
Yeah.
But what I'm telling you is like knowing the circumstances and knowing you're going through it makes me obviously concerned.
No, yeah, 100%.
But you also showed up like that. You may not have seen it, but you definitely word in your tone and your body, and you know what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, my dude ain't okay right now. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard to not bring it up.
Yeah, because it's like that's fair. And we all have our coping mechanisms,
For sure.
right? We all have our coping mechanisms, and obviously, I'm not the one that wears my emotions on my sleeve. But like I've always said, I'm not afraid to throw up the bat signal when I need everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like until I throw up the bat signal, yeah, of course I'm going to be off, right? Like that's this is a great example. That's like me telling Lo, okay, I'm going through some things. So yeah, she's going to see me wear something more than I would normally wear it on my sleeve, right? Or maybe even be a little snippy at times, right? Because I'm dealing with a lot. But I don't need help through it right now. Right? Like right now, I'm coping the best way I know how. And my coping doesn't look the same as yours, right? And that's okay. So as I'm coping through it, this is how I know how to get through it. You know what I'm saying? And when I need you all, I think, and I don't want to speak for, but you tell me if I'm right or close. I think what you're trying to do is prevent like a big breakdown. You know what I'm saying? So you keep tabs. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, I don't know if a big breakdown is coming or not gonna come, but I don't need you until then. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't say I don't need you. That's a very strong word. That's not what I mean. I don't need to keep talking about it. That's what I mean.
Well, I think you were clear with the I don't need you till then. I don't think you were saying I don't need you. I think so. A couple of things. Number one, I think with you and Low, it's the way you language what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
You go, I'm going through this, but I'm talking to our therapist about da 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 da.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not just that you're going through it. I'm also doing the work to get through it.
Fair.
Like different than you stewing in it. What I also hear clearly is that because I think you and Chief have a very unique brotherhood, it's if your brother is limping, right? You're gonna ask him about the injury.
Right.
And he's probably gonna tell you actually about that until he sees you walking well. You know, what are you doing so that I know how to maneuver with you? And so it's not always, I don't think it's not always about fixing you. It's about knowing where I need to be should a fix have to occur.
Right.
And I think that's what the check come in. Because I think even more than this, having you go to your big break is okay. Because if you good, I'm good, even if you ain't good. It's okay to not be good, but I need to know how not good you are in order for me to line some stuff up. Because should you not be in, hey, I got to make sure the boys are good. I got to make sure MJP is good. That stuff I got to get in the place so that when you say go, right? I think that's what happens. And I think,
hey, Butta, you kind of breaking up in and out. Once you try logging off, maybe log back in, bro, because you real choppy right now. Or get off, connect to your Wi-Fi or something.
Or yeah, turn the camera off for a second and turn it back on. You might be all right now.
what about now?
Yep,
You're good now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I just feel like unabashedly clear about how you're doing it. Did I mess up again?
Yeah, but I think you might be back now.
Hold up. Let me do this. I'm gonna go all the way out. Mondays. I'm leaving.
People won't even know what that is. Yeah, so it's interesting, Bell. Like I think, what are we 13 in now? You and Lo?
13. No. Well, 15.
15. Okay. Yeah. So there's clearly a level of understanding that you guys have about one another that makes it easy for you to communicate. Look, I need a minute. And she goes, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's and that's a dope thing. But just so we're clear, I also heard what you said, and I did fall back into a place. But just know I had the Avengers on standby should the call be made. I text Butter like, yo, we might have to pull up the boss. Did I not, Butter? Like, I might have to pull up the boss, and my bro might need something. All's happened to be
No,
away with Nana, but I had the Avengers on standby, bro.
no, and I appreciate that, and that's the thing. It's like, and I also know where it's coming from for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were there at your darkest moment, so it's like, yeah, if you're not gonna do nothing else, you're gonna show up for us. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. So it's not like I'm minimizing the contributions you're trying to make. I'm just, all I was saying to you, what you received it well, was I just, I don't want to live in that space. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm having a conversation with you, yeah, we're gonna talk about what's going on for a hot second or whatever. But it's like, I I don't want to keep dwelling. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing I could do about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing I could do about it. So it's just like, I'm getting through it the best way I know how. And then when it gets to a point where I can't handle it or whatever, then you'll know, because I'm gonna make sure you know. You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
Did we
And then and
did
Lorraine
we
and I have the understanding.
did
Go
we
ahead.
talk about briefly about that on the podcast or no?
No,
At all?
intentionally. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I just said my dad's not doing well.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
all
So
I said.
that's just for people who listening and watching, going, what the hell's going on? Like, that was just all that was going on.
Yeah.
Pop went through a rough patch, but we good. Yeah. Okay. All right. LT, what about you, man? The video, or did you have anything else on this particular? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it all ties in. I think it's I think once you get to a point where you don't feel like you have a place to go, it's like being told as a child, what happens in this house stays in this house.
That's where a lot of our trauma stems from,
Well,
and
here's a mistake.
why we can't speak.
The mistake is nobody teaches us that we eventually become the house.
Yeah.
And in us becoming the house, we go, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to worry. I don't want to bother you. For years, I was in that place and people didn't know what I was going through. I would pop in, hey, I love you, peace, and I'd be right back out. But I was in with a lot of like emotional, mental stuff. Later learning that I had ADHD, stuff like that. Mind-numbing depression after my mom's death. That, and then I had resentment because I was like, we had a kind of relationship. Why am I grieving you?
Mm.
And then a few years later, my father dies, and I'm like, well, damn. Like, now I'm an orphan. And then like vacillating between, I kind of didn't have y'all when y'all were alive, and now I really don't have you as permanent. And people still needing what they needed from me, but I didn't know what I needed.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I didn't know how to communicate what I needed because I didn't know what I needed because I hid inside of your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't even trying to be a superhero. I was just trying to not go numb and not disappear. And it's hard when people see your greatness and you're still just trying to see you're okay. You ain't even got to
Right.
good. I just want to be okay. Right?
Right.
Then the thing that I think people don't tell you when it comes to like mental health and stuff like that, time don't give a damn. Time does
What do
not
you mean by
care.
that?
Time, you processing in, when I was processing in and out and figuring it out and going from here to there and going through all of this stuff, I looked up and it was 4 or 5 years later. And I was like, what the what? Wait, hold up. What happened? And then seeing like watching my mom go through dementia and feeling like, oh, is this what happens? Like you lose all of this stuff. I've had so many lives, right? Been married, divorced, traveled on cruise ships because of 2 entertainment companies, did all that stuff. And one day was like, I don't want to do it anymore. Just stopped. And then got like took a nosedive into this conversation of personal and professional development coaching and transformational life and stuff like that. And then looked up again and was like, I don't have friends outside of this space. And I don't ever want to make this my life. So I had to like shift again. That's why that's why as I got older, I was like, wow, we actually don't start over. We continue the process. It's just a new part of the book. Right? Like it's never, if you think about, you know, people like the next chapter of your life. Yeah, the next chapter is not the chapter you just read. The next chapter is the next chapter.
Right.
I'm not writing a new book. I'm in this book. And in this book was all that stuff, but I had nobody to go to. And then to finally look down on medical paperwork and didn't have an emergency contact. Who do I trust with my life in such a way that I will put you down as an emergency contact? Or believing I didn't have an emergency contact. So when I went through stuff, I went through it by myself. And so people are like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm amazing. How are you? And I really mean that because I figure I only got one life and I'm gonna live it the way the way it is. But what I've gotten better at is walking my talk. So my word for the year is integrity. And it's been a tough word. It's been a tough word. But I'm glad I chose it. Right? I'm glad I chose it because it allows me to tell the people I love how much I love them. It allows me to not fuck with people I absolutely don't fuck with. Because I believe nice is phony. I can be kind, but I'm no longer a nice person. Right? I'm not trying to be nice to you. I will be kind. I believe clarity is kind. Let me be clear about where I'm at with you and I in relationship. And not like snarky, but unabashedly clear. And being clear about my core values so I can be clear about my boundaries. And be unapologetic in that way by actually like signaling them. And then I think what has been pivotal for me is a willingness to learn from everybody. A willingness to learn. I'm never the smartest person in the room, but there's often a moment where people feel like I'm one of the most compassionate. And like having that kind of compassion, but not being able to access it in other people, because once you show up, I think for people in a particular way, they can't see you another way. They don't know how, like if I have a bad day, they're like, oh my God, the world is coming to an end. I'm like, no, I'm just having a bad day.
Well, that kind of translates to what Bell was saying, how, you know, if he reacts a certain way, then everyone else kind of, you know, follows suit for all of them. So when you say that, if you show up having a bad day and it turns people to feeling the way you just described, do you often find yourself having to or trying to convince them that you're not as bad as they perceive you to be? Are you literally now trying to fix the problem?
No, I just become avoidant altogether.
Because that's one more burden.
Yeah, I'm just gonna avoid it. And then the thing about having a bad day with other people, I'm somebody, by the grace of God, was allowed to I let a bad day become a bad life. And what I had to do was work through. Wow. So when I see that in other people, I'm like, it's just today. And if you look at it closely, it was just like an hour. It wasn't even the whole day. Right. And then you're and then learning the mastery of that. But I believe I had to go through it in order to teach it. If that makes sense. Instead of it being hypothetical, I'm like, let me tell you about a time in 2000 and you know what I'm saying? And not from a grandiose place, but from a like, let me partner with you on this journey. And don't take the left. If you take the left, you're going to be there for about 3 more years. If you take the right, you probably got a day or two, and then you're going to start planning. Because then you'll learn, I've learned to like lean into y'all and be okay with love. Because I believed a long time ago that if I love too hard, it'll break, or I would break it. I would do something to just absolutely fuck it up. And that could be distant. I would tell people, hey, you know, I have, you know, ADHD or I'm neurodivergent. They'd be like, oh, I understand. I fully understand. I understand. And the moment I have a like moment, why you moving funny? Or people will only language what I shared. Oh, that must be that ADHD. It was funny until it wasn't. I was like,
So
no,
so
I'm
to
handling me.
that point, well, it's a double edged sword there because when we referencing back to the video, he talked about expressing himself and then having to fix the situation because the person he expressed himself to now feels away because he expressed himself. But in the same token, when we do expose a little bit of vulnerability and it's thrown back in our face, that shutdown often happens as well.
No, 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 no. I will get your ass together. And
Yeah,
then I will create a eulogy.
but
You
that's
can
my point. So to the point of the video though, like so when you share information and decide to be vulnerable and then have it thrown back in your face, you may set the person straight, but then they've now closed off what you thought was a safe space because they violated you by throwing that information back in your face.
Oh
See,
yeah. Yeah, they're
I,
like and I'm so I don't even deal I lost a mentor because of something like that. And then she was quite audacious in her arrogance. You know, somebody who's very successful who was mentoring me. She was really dope. But what happened, she made a comment. Like I was like, well, you said that you were, my friend and the whole nine. And she reminded me, well, I've had my friendships for more than this many years and blah, 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 blah. And I said, oh, thank you. I said, but first, let me apologize for giving you the impression that you would ever be okay with disrespecting me. That's number one. Number two, you don't get to be the volunteer and the victim where I'm concerned. I expressed to you some things, you shared some things. She's like, oh, we should talk about it. After thinking about it, what kept coming up for me, and I even had to shift my relationship with some other people in my family. I was like, if you give people a permission, like to disrespect you one time, they will keep doing it, but they'll do it in waves. So it'll be the disrespect, it'll be the latent apology or full on apology, it'll be this false new behavior, and they'll just get you right where they are. And then here's the disrespect again. And I did that for years with one person in my family. So I finally had enough and was like, oh, I actually don't have to fuck with you. Fucking with you is a choice. But in this relationship, I'm going to choose me. Do I still love them? Absolutely. But I'm loving their asses across the street.
so you bring that up not a lot, Chief, but when we get on this type of topic, when you share something that gets thrown back in your face, I don't know, right? Because and this is my POV. I don't give anybody the opportunity to do that because it's like, and again, this is part of the knock on me. So this is not me, ringing the bell saying, this is why I'm better. No, this is a knock on me. Everybody who learns anything vulnerable about, or who I share anything, if I dive into a level of vulnerability with, they are battle tested, meaning they've had a similar circumstance with me like this, spontaneous maybe, right? Like nothing that I said or did, but something that they witnessed or experienced with me, and I saw how they showed up for that. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not until then I let people in to that level of vulnerability with me.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like every time I hear that, I'm just like, my again, my POV. I'm not saying that people are doing something wrong. What I'm saying is my first thought is, why are we so quick to trust?
I don't know if it's being quick to trust. I'm thinking, so in my head, I'm thinking just like from the gentleman who was just talking, like he's in a relationship, he confides in his lady, and he either has to fix the situation now because she's offended by what he told her, or it's been from previous experience of talking to brothers and so on and so forth, it's been thrown back in their face, and that's when they shut down. And they no longer have that safe space with their lady anymore. So I'm not saying just like regular conversation with random people, but people you confide in.
But this is what I'm saying. So I don't know. You know me, man. I always like stories or analogies or scenarios to help, make my point. Someone I know, we all know someone like this, but they were in a relationship and they got in an argument, not physical, an argument, and the woman called the cops on the man. And my first thought was, you guys didn't know each other that well. Now they were married, right? They were married. They were together. But was my first thought, you guys didn't know each other that well. Because nobody I'm with, if their life is not in imminent danger, is calling the cops on me. You see what I'm saying? So I say sometimes we give these titles out, right? This is my best friend. This is my wife. This is my husband. And that shit be real loose. You know, it'd be real loose. And I don't think a lot of these people are battle tested. And again, I'm not saying you got to battle test everybody in your life, but I'm saying I do. Like, that's what I'm saying. And again, I'm not saying that that's the right way to do it, but because I do that, I don't necessarily have these situations, you know, and hey, unintended consequence of that is maybe I don't have more abundant situations because I'm not more vulnerable, right? Because maybe if I was more vulnerable earlier to different people, maybe it could have brought different opportunities into my world. I don't know.
You also can't discount this. This is the other piece. Historically, you have always been on a team,
Right.
and you've always been on a team that was battle tested, quite
True.
literally.
Yeah.
And so it would be almost irresponsible to not take some of those fundamentals from the field to your life.
Mm-hmm.
Learn, like, that's where you learn fundamentally how to be a brother, how to be a teammate. Vulnerability on the field would have gotten you the Hall of Fame.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's not, and I'm not trying to quantify today. What I'm asking you to do is take a broader look, because I think what also happened, and then here's the other part. Your wife, like, Laura's not a victim, she's a volunteer. She knew who she signed up for. Like, that's the other part too. You also, I think the part of being battle tested, to your point, your woman can look at you at this point and be like, nah, I think we should grab our coats. It's time to go.
Right.
No, he's having a good time. No. It's time to go.
Right.
And she's already clear. You all are moving a certain way. Chief, I think you're the same way. You have a way of being with your boys where they don't have to talk a lot. But if they're not talking in a particular way, your check-in show up. You're like, because you know how to be on a team. And when the team is not moving a certain way, you go, you good at playing this position, but you didn't change up. And what you're really, really good at, I think, you allow people their autonomy publicly. You allow them their space publicly. You're really good at respecting folks in such a way where you call them by themselves, like you do. You're so beautiful at one-to-ones where you be like, no, everybody don't need to know this conversation. I'm gonna holler at you for myself, so you know where I'm coming from as it concerns you. I just want to put this in really quick. I don't know if you are familiar with this brother. His name is Tori. He's like a podcaster and stuff like that.
Yeah, the journalist.
The journalist. And so him and Bryant got into it.
I saw that.
And she kept calling him like gentle and soft. And we know that's just textbook for fag, punk, sissy, whatever other derogatory term comes with feminizing men. And I found that very interesting, that because he didn't call her a raggedy, lying, such and such and such and such and such, he has to be effeminized and trying to respect her because he also has a wife. And he wouldn't want anybody to talk to his woman that way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I only raised that because I think I remember a woman saying, I wish they would just bring back toxic masculinity. And I was like, word? She's like, yeah, these brothers too soft. They always, they're going to tell you how they feel. I want to hear that shit. And I was like, oh.
That's wild.
But but there are a number of women
No, I trust me,
A
I see it. I
number
get
of
it.
women that feel like they don't want that part of, they don't want that until they do. And usually they're like, not all, but many are like a little older. They're like, I want this kind of man. I've been with that kind. I want this kind. Women always want to feel safe. They want to believe that you can fix something, not them, but something. And they want to be loved. But I think you talking to brothers who want a traditional woman, I'm like, but you're not in that time. This is a different woman. You're not in it. Can you imagine you coming home every day and Lo has dinner on the table and she's made your plate and she's folded back the bed for you and she's done the laundry?
We wouldn't made it this far.
Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So like, I think that's the other piece. We have to be clear about who we with. Your languaging is battle tested. And I just want to be clear. A large part of your life from little boy to grown ass man has been battle tested.
Right.
On an actual field. Both of you all.
You,
As star football players. So that's a part of it.
what I find with you, Chief, sometimes I feel like you are extremely vulnerable with your circle, and then circle of men, and then, but that's it for men. But sometimes with women, you are also vulnerable, but not as vulnerable as you would be to a man trying to enter your circle. Not saying you should or you shouldn't. I'm just observation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you sometimes because the self-proclaimed stance you take is you have your circle and that's it, right? And we've talked about opening it up a little bit to invite more opportunity, to invite more relationships, so on and so forth. We talked about that. And I think the missing piece is, I kind of sound like a hypocrite now, but the missing piece to one of is allowing people in more, right? And what I'm saying is, when it comes to men, you really don't, but when it comes to women, you do, and not in a jeopardizing vulnerability way, right? Not like you're spilling your guts, not like that, but you are more. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but you are more vulnerable with women than I'll say stranger women than stranger men, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying you should be or you shouldn't be. It's just an observation.
There's no risk with men. He's a man. Like, he's clear that he's a man. There's no risk. If they're with women, there's a risk.
Yeah, but he's willing to take the risk with women. That's what I'm saying.
No, he's not as vulnerable. Like, I don't mean to talk about you in third person. I feel like with men, he's more vulnerable because he also wants men. He wants the men to be better.
He's more vulnerable with men in his circle.
Oh, for sure.
I'm talking about extended. That's what I'm talking about. And he's not. He doesn't let people in. Like, he just
think about. Everybody. Let's go back to the football field. How many teams have you all played where y'all really great friends when you were on the field in high school?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't do that. It's us against you, and I don't care if we at the movies.
Oh, that we played against.
Yeah,
oh,
no. Yeah, no. See how you said, oh, no? It's the same. Y'all cannot forget socialization. Y'all were socialized inside of a football field. That conversation don't change. We might play the same sport. We can even play the same position on the field. But I'm not fucking with you until we win this championship. And even then, I'm not fucking with you. I'm sunning you.
So the funny thing is, that was all, like, call it what you want, but if we competed against each other in a sport, we weren't cool. Off the field, off the court, we weren't.
My point.
Us was the dude that he'll pop shit to a dude during the game. They be going back and forth. And and this is just Aus's personality, he'll dap them up after the game. Like, oh, my good game, and then they'll become cool. Where I'm like, fuck that nigga. Like,
twice.
Yeah, it's like it can happen. Like, even if I see him 2 weeks from now, if he was popping off, like, and I'm never looking to invite you in. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, Aus will, not that that'll be his friend, but they'll be cordial. They'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? And I think Chief is more aligned to me with that when it comes to opposition. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I,
it's a form of respect.
yeah.
It's a form of respect. Like, I respect your game, right? But you're gonna respect me as a man. Like, y'all were really clear about that. Go ahead, Chief. I apologize.
No, I'm thinking just to Bell's point. Like I do feel like there's some synergy there in what you were saying. I think I'm more. It's weird. The vulnerability extends, I guess, outward with the fellas and more inward with the women, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm making sense right now, but like I'm okay with having vulnerable conversation with the guys in hopes to kind of empower them to do the same and get that type of reciprocity.
Yeah.
I think with the women, I think there's an underlying risk of getting
Being hurt.
I mean, you have to. Yes, but you have. I've kind of accepted that. Like I'm in a space now where like, if I find someone who I'm into, I'm going to dive in and just deal with the repercussions as they come.
But that's I'm asking. I'm not telling. Is that off-putting to them?
I think yes, because it doesn't happen often.
So in their experience, yeah.
It's new and it's different. You know what I'm saying? And I think,
but then my question is, does that make you a potential target to this conversation, the whole topic we're talking about? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, and I'm not saying you do this on the first day, but if a woman receives that and they're like, man, this motherfucker was over here spilling his guts to me or whatever. And it's like, they're so not accustomed to receiving that they don't know what to do with it. So they get, so in lieu of them becoming vulnerable, which is crazy, in lieu of them becoming vulnerable, they make it something, they make something wrong about you. It's
two ends of the sword. One end, they make something wrong about me and I become the soft sissy dude. He too soft and vulnerable. And the other end, it's like, wow, I've never experienced this before. So now they're all in.
Okay.
I think I love you.
That type of party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll never forget that time we were recording the podcast at your crib and you had a friend over and you got vulnerable on the podcast. And this is some years ago. and I know she was being playful, but she was like, basically, she was like, my nigga, you good? Like, you need me to stick around? Like, you need a hug? And it was funny at the time, but that's the case in point where someone at the stage they were at in their life, they weren't used to receiving that, you know what I'm saying? Or even witnessing it, because that wasn't directed towards them. They just happened to be a fly on the wall at that moment.
I think that was definitely made in jest because again, that's one of them things where like in private, it was all love and hella vulnerability. But in public, it was, you know what I'm saying? It was weird. It was an interesting dynamic because she probably would still joke if y'all weren't there.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
And I didn't think, I laughed my ass off. Like, I didn't think it was her minimizing you at all. I quite frankly, I thought that was cool because I'm like, they got a dope relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a cool understanding. But
I doubt
it doesn't mean
podcast, but
it doesn't mean that there wasn't some truth behind those words too, though. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that could have been. I took that as her way of trying to show up for me and making light of it. Because had you not been there, she'd have probably dove into me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she'd have made the joke and be like, "My nigga, you good?" And then be like, "Come here," and then we, you know what I'm saying? We'd have hugged it out or some shit.
I don't like that. I don't like
what
that.
You mean?
I knew Butta was gonna have a thought on that, and I can't wait to hear it.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
What do you mean?
Somebody who cracks jokes often, it's truth in everything that we say.
Mm-hmm.
It's no like, it's because you also got to be careful that you're not being manipulated, and people aren't weaponizing the thing that you share, like to first make a joke in jest. I think it's disrespectful. Publicly, with your boys around, I think that's trash. But then to double back and go, hey, come here. That's manipulative as shit.
No, it didn't happen that way. But I'm saying I think had it just been me there and I did the same thing with nobody else in the room, she would have probably still made that joke. But like it'd have been a way for her to ease in to support me, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, no, ease into fucking support. I think if I have, can you imagine? Ha ha, that's so crazy. But no, that would be like me cracking a joke about grandmothers and then saying to you, hey, I got you though. That's bullshit. Like, you don't, I'm not, don't play with me like that. That's just,
Okay.
I don't like that. If I don't think it's funny, I'm not, dude, please don't start me on jokes and the Kevin Hart shit. But
Oh,
I don't,
I knew I was nothing. I was
dude,
thinking
I
the same. When
expected
you
some
said
shit
that,
like this from you,
I
riffraff.
was thinking the same thing. I just watched his interview on the Breakfast Club today. Well, not his interview, just the part
clip.
about the
Yeah.
jokes. Yeah.
trash. It's, I'm making money. I can't offend these white folks. It's okay if they make a few racist jokes. Is it? People are coming out for our voting rights. That would be like a woman, dude. A woman couldn't do that to you in front of me. I'm telling you now, she could. She wouldn't have been able to crack that joke like with either one of y'all. That shit ain't funny.
So
Like,
let
my
me
man
ask you.
shared his heartbeat. Like, are you kidding me right now? The same one that you say you want, but it's a joke. Would it be a joke if he fucked your girl? Ha ha ha. Just playing.
Damn, bud.
I'm just saying, if he cracking jokes, let's crack some jokes.
So the interesting thing though, Cheat.
Nephew.
Oh, I thought I heard something. Maybe I didn't.
I love that black people don't go check though.
Whatever happened to the wasp? By the way.
Right, you like, yeah, what happened was.
Yeah, no, she we got you know, that home defense. So she sprayed it, but she said it was like taking too long to die. So she hit it with we got like a kneeling pad on the floor when we washed Chase up. So she hit it with the kneeling pad thing. What I was gonna say, and I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but I honestly think one of the reasons why that situation didn't work out is because where you guys were, you were, in my opinion, too far apart from an emotional intelligence standpoint. You know what I'm saying? And that was displayed by that joke. You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't think anything of it honestly at the time. I also think because I really liked her, I might have just overlooked that shit.
So that is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like that's exactly what I'm talking about. When people get into these situations, I feel, and shout out to Prentice because he kind of brought this word into my vocabulary. People romanticize things so much that they overlook the things that if they weren't romanticizing, they would have picked up on in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, back to the cop situation. I know that situation, there was a lot of romanticizing of a family, of this, of that. And I know for a fact they both looked over things. And it's like they both looked over things.
What situation you talking about? You said the cop.
Yeah, when the couple I know, the wife called the cop.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And what I was saying is I would never be in that situation because I would have picked up on those things and be like, nah, I'm good. You gonna call the cops on me one day. I can see that shit already. You know what I'm saying? Or, and again, I'm not a prophet, but I think I didn't know about this whole romanticizing situations. Like I took things day by day because again, I'm not giving too much. And again, I'm not proud of it, but I'm not giving too much of myself up to be like, oh, this is going to be this because I'm doing this and wait till they do this. And it's just like, okay, we got the Tuesday, Wednesday. All right. Now, once we done strung enough days together, I'm like, okay, now we can start looking a week in advance. Strung enough days together. Now we can start looking a month in advance. String enough days and years together, start looking years in advance. So it's like, I don't make something that is not, you know, if I can help it, I'm not perfect, but if I can help it. And again, sometimes that hurts me because it's like, damn, Bell, like you ain't want to give no more during that situation. I'm like, nah.
Okay. So that's a fair, so this brings me to my next question. You and Lo obviously got 15 in, so y'all thoroughly understand each other inside and out, right? Hypothetically speaking, had she proposed to you that she's looking for a little bit more vulnerability from you? What would that look like to you?
That would be my question to her. What does that look like to you? Because, like, a little bit more vulnerability. Like, you want to know I'm going to take a shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's vulnerable. Like, what does that look like? So, like, that would be my question. What does that look like?
Now,
Bill, that's
right.
some bullshit.
It
And
is, but that's
it's
my point.
Spirited.
No, I mean, meanwhile, she's over there downstairs cracking up at some show she's fucking watching, not a care in the world. I was saying that more tongue in cheek, but my point is, I can't answer that because I don't know what that. Because clearly, whoever's asking me that question would have an idea of what that looks like.
And she knows you. Like I think that's the part that we're missing. When she met you, started dating you, just like you assessed that you could have like seen, nope, she gonna call the police on me one day. She got clear. Okay, I'm gonna have to handle this part. He's absolutely gonna handle this part.
Right.
This is how I'm gonna get what I want out of him when I need to know to my satisfaction. And she didn't sit you down and go, hey, this is what I do. So you can tell me, because you'll go, hey, I'm working it out with such and such. And she'll go, oh, okay, talk to you in a little bit.
Yeah. But that's also, yeah, right.
Clear that you are who I think a lot of times, to your point, we are in relationship with people who don't know us.
Exactly.
They don't know us, they don't know how to access us. They say they want to get to know us, but for many of them, they're trying to create a version of us that they can deal with.
And the messed up thing, man, I don't and not to sound like the old back in my day guy, but I feel like the days when you had to go up to a girl and get her phone number, there was just more courting involved. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like most interactions are through some type of social platform initially. And that person could be completely opposite of the real person that you're looking to get to know. But they're going to do their best to uphold whatever image they're portraying that you know them to be. So by the time you get to the real person, who the hell knows when that'll be? If you ever get there. And then you'll get there when shit hit the fan. You know what I'm saying? When shit hit the fan, then you'll learn exactly who they are. But by that time, my point, you'd have already romanticized this life, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? So, and not to keep bringing up my relationship, but my previous relationship, we were together for like 7 years. And again, this is well documented. I wasn't shit, did a lot of things I shouldn't have done. However, the difference was between her and Lo knew exactly who I was because we built a relationship, like a friendship, before we were physical or anything like that. So she knew exactly who she was signing up for, but she saw, promising characteristics in me where it's like, okay, I know who he is, but here's who he could be, or here's who we could be. Whereas my last relationship, though we were together 7 years, I would say we didn't really get to know each other until like year 4. You know what I'm saying? So then now like the back half of our relationship, and by that point the damage is done. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think we could all, people that are in relationships, take a beat. You know what I'm saying? Take a beat and make sure you inspect what you expect.
I also feel like even in that 7-year relationship, she was not a victim. She was a volunteer.
Yeah.
You said 7 years. You didn't say a year and a half. You didn't say 6 months.
Yeah.
The aspect that she understood who she was in relationship.
Yeah. That's fair.
And she stayed. Like, you have to be accountable for your part. Absolutely.
No, that's fair.
But you can't take on the whole responsibility because everybody in the relationship is participating.
Right.
You didn't hold a gun to her head. You didn't kidnap her. You were like, I'll be home on Tuesday and here come Thursday morning. You like, well, shit happened. Where you been? She can smell on you.
Right.
Then instead of like addressing it, or making a change for herself, you got breakfast with no arsenic in it.
Right.
Like
Right.
that, like that's somebody participating in a particular, I think, in a particular way, right? Like I just, I don't know.
No, that's fair enough. No, that's fair enough. You're right. I
I
mean,
just
yeah,
like,
100%.
I just like, which is why I think if the person don't know you, but back to the original thought of what we were talking about, I think the reason why it becomes difficult for women, especially in these times, is the emasculation of men that constantly occurs in media and things like that. Is the demonization of homosexuality and stuff like that. That it's ironic to me that femininity is weakness in men, but a strength in women.
Hmm.
But if a woman is masculine, it's a problem. But if men are too masculine, it's a problem. So you got to choose. What do you want? Do you want a woman who, because we'll say we want a strong woman, but she can't be masculine. Most people attribute masculinity to strength and vice versa. But if we held femininity as an aspect of a person, then it wouldn't be so deemed. Like if you look at Prince, if you look at uh Lenny Kravitz, stuff like that, just if you go back to the 70s and 80s and just look at some of them album covers, some of the stuff that those brothers were wearing then, they're selling in rainbow right now for women. But that was that was the motif. That's how they moved in. The tighter the better. Then dudes start wearing skinny jeans again. There's a time you can catch a brother in skinny jeans. So you have all of these things that it gets right back down to gender roles, which I think is ironic. Like vulnerability can only be something that women do, but how do you tell a father to not be vulnerable?
Yeah.
How do you tell a brother who's lost a brother to not cry? But we're constantly being told that. And we got our first mask when we were little kids. Shh, don't cry, it's all right. And then before you know it, as you got older, don't cry, it's all right. Don't cry, so yo, you good? I'm good. You good? Like, let me get you up off me real quick. And so we keep perpetuating that. And then women, not all, but some who are searching for a particular kind of man, right? Have not designed themselves to be a kind of woman that would attract that kind of man. Just like sometimes we don't design ourselves to attract the kind of partner we love and deserve. Not in
Right.
your case, Bill. You had to figure that out. You had to go through that PhD program of 7 years to really get clear, like, oh, okay, got it.
Right.
Right. And then she had to go through that program too to go, okay, this is the type of man I want for myself. Right. I think that's the conversation. Women say they want this loving, kind, tender man, but how tender? Do you want him well done or medium done? Like you want him like a steak almost, right? But you got to decide because nobody wants anything overcooked,
Right.
right? So I think it absolutely depends on our appetite, what we want in our desire, and you know that like here's how many like would you all date a liar?
No.
For why?
Would you date a woman with a BBL?
Probably.
That's not a ass. That's a lie. But I'm just saying, for me, right? Okay, I get it's an enhancement. I get it's like hair and weave and lashes, all the other stuff. But I'm just saying to that degree, like a woman who's done all this work on her face, you're hoping that your baby come out looking like this woman, like the woman that got sued because
Oh,
she did
yeah, I
all.
heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the kids don't look like the like. It's like, come on, y'all. We've putting these unrealistic expectations on these. And listen, I don't have nothing around BBLs. I just want you to get like a lowercase p. These uppercase p's be looking real crazy. But I be because you got to do the fat me too. Anyway, that's the comedian, y'all. I apologize, but I'm just saying that we have to take these unrealistic expectations off each other, and I think we need to get back to humanity with humanity. I need you to have your humanity so I can have my humanity, and then let's keep choosing each other. Let's just keep choosing each other. You my choice. You don't wake up today and be like, I'm gonna be in love with Lo. And you'll wake up tomorrow. She'll wake up and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna love the hell out of this nigga. No, you're her choice. You choose her. And y'all have been choosing each other. right? Like every day is a choice. I choose to love this man. She's not saying that, but you can tell in her behavior,
Right.
right? Even if the FU is polite, it's in there, but it's like, okay, cool. Today she can't stand you, but she needs to see you to know that she can't stand you. Don't leave the house.
Hmm.
Or come over here. Same with that. We get so caught up on trying to regulate people that we miss the people in front of us.
That's a fact.
Right. And I want y'all to hear me real clearly in my hypocrisy of having somebody like me a lot, but aesthetically not attracted to them. Good for my heart. You hear me? Good.
Bless your soul, Butta.
Bless
Bless
your
your
soul.
soul.
That's a whole other conversation. I'm gonna start writing them down though as we go through. So this is we're gonna cap the conversation right here, fellas. I thought it was a good conversation. We veered hella off the topic and back around again, but we here.
But I think we were still in the realm the whole time. You know, I think it took a bunch of different turns, but I definitely think it was still in the realm.
Yeah, for sure. So
Can I
let us
make
know.
a request?
Yeah,
Yeah, stop doing that.
doing what?
Whatever was needed was needed.
Touche.
Yeah,
Well,
stop
go
saying.
ahead. You
We
on the
can-
hot seat. You on the hot seat first, then. Give us your final
First
thoughts.
of all, I just want to say thank y'all for listening. And whatever the topic was tonight, that was the goddamn topic. Something came up. I hope you loved it. If you didn't love it, tell your friend. Don't tell us. But
Tell
yeah,
them to watch the show and see if they loved it.
right. I'm just share with your friend. No, but seriously, I think that men do have a place to go. I think that women do have a place to go. We just got to find who to go to. If you're with somebody that talks too much and tell other people business, they're telling your business too. If you're talking to someone and they crack jokes around your tender moments, then you are the punchline even when you're not in the room. So I would offer, be with the humanity that's with you so that your humanity can thrive. If you're not doing that, then all we're doing is like abusing each other with a feather, but it's abuse nonetheless.
Touche. I'm gonna go ahead and steal this one out, Butter. I mean, Bell, let you go last. Final thoughts is it's okay to be vulnerable. It may even be okay if you have to repair a little bit of hurt because you chose to be vulnerable. But let's be careful before we completely shut down and stray away from vulnerability. I think it really does help men grow and heal. And for those of you who us men decide to be vulnerable with, please cherish that and do your best not to throw it back in our face. Do your best to hear us, listen to understand versus taking offense and potentially causing us to shut down. Fair? I think that's fair. Go ahead.
I don't know why what's coming to my mind right now is one yourself. One yourself. Like that's what I'm just I just feel that the need to say that one yourself. And I think another thought that comes to my mind is true leaders don't ask to be followed. Right? They just lead. And from where I sit, if whoever I'm following, I'm looking to them for strength. So that's where my disposition comes in times of strife or adversity. So one yourself, excuse me, one yourself. Remember that true leaders don't ask to be followed. And that's it. I don't need to say more than that. That's my final thought.
That's what's up. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Just know that we have a voice line that we'd love to connect with y'all on. It's 860-410-6160, 860-410-6160. We do answer the phone. We do respond to texts. Leave us a message. We'll get back to you. you can hit us up on email. It is allblackmenneedtherapy@gmail.com. And Bellhead, you go ahead and let them know why we, where we at and why we do what we do.
Yeah, we come back week after week to create a safe space for Black men to openly engage in conversations surrounding their mental health. And we do so by being the message, right? We display that level of vulnerability to make it okay for you to do the same, and then hopefully create a snowball effect, and we can impact more men suffering from the same challenges we suffer with, suffering with the same challenges that we suffer with that we don't talk about. So that's all. Just like as hypocritical as this is about to sound, vulnerability creates community. So
that's hella hypocritical based on the conversation we just had, but we definitely appreciate y'all. Y'all listen, man. We thank y'all for tapping in. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. We don't normally say this, but like, share, and subscribe. That's kind of what we anticipate y'all to do. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we'll see y'all next week, man. Do us all a favor and hug a Black man today.
Do it.
And tomorrow.
Do it.
We out, y'all.
Peace.